Hello friends, I am Sanjay Sarada, Business Management Consultant, Strategic Advisor and Certified Corporate Director. I work with small and medium-sized businesses as a virtual CEO or virtual owner and large companies as independent director and help them to grow and achieve their dreams faster. Today, I am sharing a video recording of my meeting with my associates, giving them or discussing with them some effective tips for business communication. Today, basically, we'll be talking about effective communication for desired results in specifically focused on business. So basically, communication is applicable anywhere and everywhere. But today we'll try to correlate the tips mostly related to business communications. So when we say what is communication with reference to business, so communication, we can call it as a process of exchanging information and ideas. So basically from one person to other person, one business to other business, exchange of information idea, that's what we can call communication. Some other definition, which again relates to business, that it's an active process, which involves like encoding the message or thought, then transmitting that message, and that message should be decoded by the intended recipient. And the objective is whatever the thought was and whatever the received perception, both should be close or same. Quickly, I will check what are the challenges, or commonly faced issues with communication. These are misunderstanding. You probably all will agree. Many times there are misunderstanding with communication while communicating with each other. There is one commonly the faced thing is, that's not what I said. I mean, what we interpret and what the person really wanted to say, sometimes it differs. And that creates a lot of issues and confusion. When handling HR, this is the very commonly faced thing that I did not get the opportunity to talk. My manager was just talking and I did not get the opportunity, so the reward starts there. Unsatisfied negotiations. Many times and every time we have to negotiate on business deals, communication, or a lot of other things. At the end, many people, while coming out of negotiation, we feel that maja nahi aaya, satisfied nahi. We did not get what really wanted. Of course, we closed the deal, but not satisfied. Sometimes language related challenges can be there. What language we want to communicate? Yes, that needs to be fixed. Unclear written instructions. Sometimes what we want to write and we did not give a very clear instruction in writing. It's ambiguous and that creates a lot of problem and confusions. And similarly, there could be many more such challenges. So what are the keys to the effective communication and address this challenge? Basically, there are 4 things. There could be many, but we will be focusing on mostly these 4 things. One is like listening skills. We all can talk a lot about what is listening and all these things. So we will not go into the details of that. Then there is a feedback skill. How do we give feedback to the vendor, associate, employee, whether it's a positive feedback or negative feedback. Positive feedback, yes, everybody is happy to receive, but when it's a negative feedback, most of the times, many times you have to give that. So we have to be very careful while giving that. If it's a negative, then try to be objective. Very specific feedback, okay, this 1, 2, 3 things are not correct. So that sometimes is taken okay. Secondly, negative feedback while giving, it should come from authority. If you are not an authority in that subject, your negative feedback may not be taken well. So while giving the negative feedback, just make sure that if you are authority or command something or hold a respectable position with reference to that feedback, please give that negative. Otherwise, try to avoid. Then use right choice of medium and presentation of your thoughts and communication, which is more important. We'll take one short story at the end if time permits. And conflict resolution skills. So while communication, there could be many conflicts. We should know how and where to identify that conflict and resolve it. So these are very broad things we need to take care while doing or handling business communication. So instead of going to detail, as the subject today was some tips which I wanted to share based on some of my learnings from my colleagues, friends, and readings. So I will go with that. Written communication, when we say, again, I am only taking the written communication mode more focused, because when we talk about business, most of our communication are written. Or if it is not, then it should be written. I mean, see to it that most of the communication in business, you do it in written form. It has definitely a very longer shelf life. So the words, language, whatever is used, we should be careful. Like, I mean, while talking, if I skip some word, misspell something, that is okay. You listen and we forget. But when it is written, it is documented. So it has to be very carefully drafted. And it definitely gives us opportunity to communicate more effectively with people. Let's talk about some simple tips which are related to written communication. So the most important thing is a subject. When we communicate, many times we communicate by email or some letter or some note or whatever. So there has to be a subject line. So what the subject should be, that will decide what the outcome of your communication is. So the subject should be very carefully written to encourage the receiver to pay attention. If the subject is not attractive enough to go through it, probably half of your communication will be lost there and there itself. So see to it that you draft a subject very correctly and in a crisp manner. Also, it should be as short as possible. If you write a very long subject line, probably the interest is lost and we won't get any message out of that. We'll share one example later. And ensure that it does not hit the spam filter. So many times we write emails, message by email or electronic mode of communication. See to it that it does not hit spam filter, because nowadays there are a lot of marketing emails, and the Google and other search engines, they identify what could be a potential scam. So don't use such word which can be treated as a spam. So probably if you want more details on it, just search on Google saying what are spam words for email. It will give you a list of identified spam words. Try to avoid writing or using these words in your message. Some words could be discount. Some word could be free. Some words could be urgent. Or some word even could be hello or hi. So these are considered as a spam words in subject line. So try to avoid that. Then another thing is, like, when you come to the content of the email, to whom you are addressing that email to. That is another challenge where your email will get, or your message will get, right weightage or negative weightage. So I will just mention all these points here and then go one by one. So like, let's say you are writing email to Sanjay Sarda, me. Then what you will write? So there could be, you can write, dear Mr. Sanjay Sarda, dear Mr. Sarda, dear Mr. Sanjay, dear Sanjay, and so on. So basically, what is more appropriate? So if you see the topmost one, that is absolutely highest level of professional address. So when you don't know the person, when you are communicating with the person first time, and if the person like your colleague or your vendor or supplier or even a very senior person in the industry or somebody, start with dear, first name, Mr., Mrs., whatever prefix you put, first name, last name. Then sometimes just last name is also okay, but priority wise, first, that is a second level or of connect. Then if you know the person well, you met the person in some meetings, or you have couple of phone calls, communication, probably dear Mr. Sanjay would also be okay. If the person is your friend or in a friends group or some community, especially in US, or if the person works in US or Western culture, then you can probably write dear Sanjay directly. So nobody will take it as offensive. Dear sir is the most safe thing. If you don't get a clarity what to write, just go ahead with dear sir or dear madam. Try to avoid hello and hi for in all business communication, because these are mostly linked to your friends. And again, Little distant friend, you can write hello. Very, very close friends, you can write hi. Use simple sentence and language. Try not to complicate the message. I will share one example which I found on the internet. Try to read this statement yourself. I will just take a pause for 30 seconds. You read this statement and see what you interpret from this. The statement is correct, message is correct. Okay. If this statement is written, mostly the person will not understand anything and the message will be lost. The same statement, it can be written like this. The members at the meeting were divided about the operating budget. Some wanted it increased while others wanted it reduced. Probably this message can be easily interpreted with the second statement. So try to use the language which is not complicated and easily understandable. Use words that specifically identify people. Like, I mean, whenever you communicate, this is one example I'm sharing where somebody complained about the computer tables to a furniture manufacturer. The message was communicated as one person claimed the computer tables were too small. It can be more precisely written that a customer claimed the computer tables were too small. It can be more effective if it is written Mr. Patel, which is the name of the customer who claimed the customer computer tables were too small. So try to see how best clarity you can bring to the message. And that will give because when you send this message, you want a response from the person and action to be taken from your team. So if you give a very specific message, you will get a specific action. Replace negative words with neutral or positive words. Many times we write some negative words. Sometimes you have to write. I will share a couple of examples. Probably that will give you some idea. Like somebody complains and we are replying to him. We write your complaint concerning so and so. That starts with a negative note. Instead, try writing your comment concerning. Although it is a complaint, write it as a comment concerning so and so. The person will be cool down while listening or reading your message. Or something like your argument that, or instead you mentioned that. That will change the whole tone of the communication. Or somebody is criticizing you, like your product is not good, your service is not good, so and so, whatever. That's a criticism, we know. Sometimes it's beyond feedback, it's criticism. But instead of writing criticism, say your feedback about so and so is that, and we are acting on it. So that is taken positively. Secondly, avoid gender bias. Sometimes it misfires like anything. For example, you are addressing to the police and you mention policeman. And let's say by chance that police officer is a lady, woman. That will be offended, or they may not laugh, I like it good. So try to write police officer instead of policeman. Similarly, instead of saying salesman, always mention sales representative. Or businessman, instead of that saying businessman, mostly we address this businessman, or even some organizations chairman. So always refer chairperson if you don't know the person is male or female. Otherwise, if by chance, if the gender mismatch is there, your communication will not be received positively and you will not get any favor, or you don't know what is the outcome. One last thing in the message is like how do you sign off the message? Try to be more professional sign-offs. When you complete, just write best regards or just regards or warm regards, instead of just saying cheers or have fun and your name. So try to be more professional. Sometimes people just don't write this regards or best regards. Just write the name. That is kind of rude stop on the communication. So after, if somebody is reading your message full, so complete it with a professional sign off that gives wonderful results. Some worst communication habits, probably we can quickly go through. Yes, contacting someone when only you need something. So you are never in touch and directly call somebody that I need some help. Probably that person will not or may not help you. So better stay in touch wherever you need to maintain a network. Always complete the loops, never keep communication open. Many times people have habit of not returning emails and telephone calls. Many people get many calls and some people 100% call back, some people don't. But see to it and understand, if you don't call back somebody or don't reply that communication, even if that is a spam, you have to mention that, sorry, please do not call, but complete that communication, because even a single good communication is missed without replying. That will be not a great thing for business, and you may lose a wonderful opportunity. You should always see to it that basic courtesy is followed. If somebody is meeting you, coming to your office, whether it's you like that person, don't like it, whether you're a favorite vendor or rejected vendor, but if somebody is coming, see to it you follow this courtesy. Yes, we should always be listening. Sometimes we always try to dictate as a business owner. Try to see to it that wherever required, as much as possible, listen. Telling lies, this is one habit some people have. For good or bad reason, we lie, and that bounces like anything. I'll share an example. Like I was sitting with one of my friend or associate. As he received a call, he was sitting in my office, and on the phone call he said, "Oh, मैं आज city में नहीं हूँ." I mean, I know he's in the city. He's telling somebody I'm not in the city. I mean, what impression I will carry? Like, I mean, that is registered. So same things are registered everywhere. Who is silently or indirectly listening to you? Avoid ambiguous instructions. Try to be clear on it. Couple of best communication habits are say what you mean in very few words as possible instead of longer messages. Your action should be aligned with the words. Be genuine. I mean, genuineness always is shown or reflected in the messages and communication, your behavior. Somebody understands it quickly, somebody takes time, but yes, it is understood. Listen with your eyes as well as your ears, because body language is also very, very important in communication. So you have to listen and watch and then interpret the message properly wherever the opportunity is available. And most importantly, make the most important point in the beginning. Sometimes we just write so many things as an introduction, and by the time we come to the point, probably that person has left the focus or already made a decision that iske aage kaam nahi karna, stop here. So better focus on communicating the message in the beginning. Let's talk about some general useful tips with reference to business communication, which are tried, tested, and certainly deliver result. Written communication, whenever you do, whether it is on WhatsApp, email, or even a writing proposal draft, see to it that it is checked before sending. Many times you type a message and say hit a send button and it's gone. Then we have very limited chance to correct it. So see to it that you read it again one more time before sending. You may argue that it takes extra time, but yes, that is worth spending the time instead of avoiding, instead of facing the challenge with mistakes. If the message is too important, proposal or like an important business proposal, take more time for checking and take a break. So like when you finalize the proposal, instead of sending, just close that subject there, come back after 1 hour or 2 hours, or maybe next day morning, review it again and then send. Many times you will find certain things can be twisted a little bit or corrected to get a better result. You should structure your message more effectively. How you write a message, that's what decide, I mean, what result you are going to get. I'll quickly share a story of a blind boy. Probably you might have read, this is an old story and many times it is told, but if some of you not heard, I'll quickly share. There was a blind boy sitting on the street and asking for help. Like he has written on the board behind him, and it's written, "I am blind, please help." And some people are helping, but not much. 1,000 people were passing by, but very few people were helping. Then one gentleman came there. He helped him, and then he saw the sign, what is written on it. Then he picked the sign, changed some words on it, and placed it back and went. The miracle happened. Suddenly, his hat was like filled up by lots of coin. Everybody walking by was giving coins to him, and in the evening, this man comes back again. The boy asks him. He identifies by footstep that what he wrote on the board. He said, "I only wrote the truth, but in a different way." Friends, imagine what he wrote. Simply he wrote, "Today is a beautiful day and I cannot see it," and see the difference. Basically, the first sign and second sign was saying the same thing. But basically, the second message was telling people that they are lucky to see the world, and this boy is unlucky. And that was this positive twist in the message was creating wonders, and he got a lot of money. Then one mistake many times we happen in spelling names. Many times when we meet person at some networking event or our client, if we don't have a business card exchanged, we write an email and there is a spelling mistake. For example, somebody's name is Deepak. Somebody writes D-I-P-A-K, somebody writes D-E-E-P-A-K. You have to write exactly the same way what the person writes. Because if you don't do that, somebody may get hurt. Somebody gets hurt very extremely, somebody gets hurt little bit, but yes, they get hurt. So see to it that you get the name correct and then spell. Even if you do some mistake by chance, and if you notice that there is a mistake, as quickly as possible say apologize for that you misspelled the name and correct it. Be aware of your hidden audience, especially in case of written communication. When you write a message, see to it and then understand who is your real audience. Because you may be writing a message to a managing director, but the company may have a culture that the message will be given to the sales manager, and who will then finally take a decision, or the other way around. So see to it, understand that message can go to a different set of audience, and use language words carefully, that even if it hits that, you get the desired intended results. Keep the communication as close-ended as possible. Try to see to it that whatever you write, it is addressed to very specific person and not multiple people. Especially when writing an email, in the to box, never write more than one name. Other things you can write in CC. The moment you write more than one name in to, then you don't know who is supposed to take action on it. Otherwise, in certain cases, then in the message text, specifics should be mentioned that who is supposed to do what. Otherwise, the action cannot be expected. Reconfirm receipt of important message. Many times we send it and we assume that it is received and wait for it. So instead, always reconfirm that the message is delivered. Then use appropriate mode of communication. I'll share a story if time permits after a question and answer. Otherwise, we'll just move ahead. And while sending SMS or WhatsApp messages to a new group or not very close friend or close group, always write your name at the end. Because we cannot assume that the person has saved your name and number. So always there is no harm in completing the message or ending the message, even a short one, with your name. And avoid time-sensitive greetings in the email. Many times you might have noticed emails come saying good morning and then the email. How do you know what time the person will read your email? He may be reading in the evening. He may be reading it at the night. So try to avoid greetings which are time-sensitive. One quick and good, really good tip is think for 1 to 2 seconds before you pick up a phone. When many times what happens, we are thinking something, doing something, a phone rings, we immediately pick up and say hello. That does not work because you need to just give your brain some time to see the name, just recollect all the things with reference to that contact and what exactly it is, and then pick up the phone. Even if it is an unknown call, then decide whether you really want to pick up the phone or not. If yes, then pick up, otherwise don't, that spam call or whatever. And then you can reply later. That will definitely give a wonderful results by avoiding impact of your mood on the caller. Avoid personal comment after mobile conversation. And many times people have a habit, as soon as the call ends and if they are sitting somewhere, they will talk something bad or good about that person. Many times it happens that the call is not absolutely disconnected and that word is heard by that person and you lose, you don't know what. So try to avoid that. And secondly, otherwise also that's not a good habit of talking or passing a loose comment about someone, especially behind the back. Because if you whatever comment you are passing, it means somebody is there in front of you to listen to that comment. So if you can talk bad about someone else, you can talk bad about that person also. So you lose the trust and probably the deal never happens unless it is a compulsory thing. And most importantly, if you can't say something nice about anybody, don't say anything. That's always good. Whenever you have to deliver some news to some employee, vendor, supplier, customer, or any associate, deliver bad news in person in a closed cabin, and deliver good news always in public or in a larger audience. Ask the right question, and what question you ask, how you frame the communication, that all decides your message. Like, I mean, what exactly the outcome will be. Take and give correct and complete instructions. If the instructions are not complete, probably the outcome could be disastrous. And most importantly, when in a position of authority, avoid saying no, especially if you are a business owner and you are the final decision maker. And if some decision comes to you, and if you say, somebody comes to you for asking something, some help or whatever, and you are in a position to help, and if you say no, then that becomes a major problem. For example, your employee comes, say, sir, I want loan of 10,000 rupees. You may not want to give it. But if you say no, that is going to problem. So try to avoid and see to it that the person never comes to you for this situation, or try to frame your disagreement in a question and present it in such a way that it is not taken otherwise. Thank you, friends. If you like the video or like the tips, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And please feel free to share the video with your friends and associates who you think might benefit. Thank you.